The blood rushed to my fingertips, making them tingle as I held the key card to my own hotel, watching my sister block the entrance. My father's booming laughter echoed from inside the Grand Azure's lobby, the lobby I had designed, the hotel I owned, while I stood outside like an unwanted solicitor. "You can't seriously think you're coming in," Vanessa said, her voice dropping to a condescending whisper. She adjusted her designer dress a knockoff. I recognized immediately from the preliminary sketches my designer friend had shown me over lunch last week, and planted herself more firmly in the doorway. "This is the Grand Azure, Ellie. The tasting menu alone costs more than you make in a month." If she only knew I had personally approved that menu alongside our Michelin-starred chef. "He's my father too," I said, my voice steadier than expected. The small envelope in my clutch containing the deed to a villa in Tuscany, one of the Grand Azure's most exclusive properties, suddenly felt like a brick in my hand. "My name is Eleanor Thompson. I'm 38, a hospitality entrepreneur, and this is the story of how I reclaimed my place at a table I already owned." "Mom and Dad were very specific," Vanessa continued, checking her reflection in the glass doors. "They only want successful people here, people who won't embarrass the family." The irony struck me so hard I almost laughed. Just yesterday, I had signed off on a $100 million expansion of the Grand Azure chain. Today, apparently, I was too much of a disgrace to enter my own hotel. 10 years ago, when I chose to leave the family's small accounting firm to pursue hospitality, they had practically disowned me. I could still hear my father's dismissive tone. "No daughter of mine is going to be a glorified waitress." So I had let them believe what they wanted, that I was a failure, that I was scraping by on tips and cheap apartments, all while building Azure Hospitality Group into one of the most respected luxury hotel chains in the world. The glorified waitress now owned 35 five-star hotels across 3 continents. "Eleanor!" My mother's sharp voice cut through my thoughts. She appeared behind Vanessa, her eyes narrowing like daggers. "What are you doing here?" "We discussed this." No, they had discussed it. I had received a text that morning. "Don't come to Dad's birthday. It's at the Grand Azure. You can't afford it. Don't embarrass us." "I brought a gift," I said quietly, lifting the small envelope. Vanessa's laugh was shrill. "What is it? A gift card to Olive Garden? Or did you scrape enough tips together to buy something from a mall kiosk?" My mother's eyes raked over my clutch bag, a handcrafted Italian piece worth more than Vanessa's car. "Whatever it is, I'm sure your sister's gift is more appropriate," she said proudly. "She just made junior partner, you know." I knew. Her firm was in desperate negotiations to lease office space in one of my towers. Space they couldn't quite afford without my approval. "Vanessa's doing so well," Mom continued, warming to her favorite subject. "A new house, a luxury car, a fiancé with excellent prospects." She paused to take in my black silk dress, her lips twisting. "And you? Well, at least you're trying, I suppose." I thought of my penthouse overlooking Central Park, my collection of sports cars, the jet I'd flown in on that very morning. "Yes, Mom," I said mildly. "At least I'm trying," Vanessa sneered. "Speaking of trying, that dress, couldn't you have made an effort? This is the Grand Azure, not some diner." I ran my fingers over the fabric custom Paris couture, worth $30,000. The same designer who had rejected Vanessa's desperate request just weeks ago. "It's what I could manage," I replied. "Well, you can't come in," she snapped. "We reserved the entire VIP floor. It's for family and distinguished guests only. The VIP floor. My VIP floor. The one I had personally redesigned, selecting every piece of art, every chandelier. The distinguished guests being?" I asked softly. "Oh, you wouldn't know them," Mom said with a dismissive wave. "The Andersons, who own that law firm, the Blackwoods' old money, and Mr. Harrison from the bank. Very important people." I suppressed a smile. The Andersons leased 3 of my properties. The Blackwoods had begged me for a resort membership. Harrison's bank was currently groveling for a massive loan from my investment division. Right, I said. Very important indeed. Before I could step forward, Gavin, my brother-in-law, appeared, adjusting his tie. What's taking so long? Everyone's waiting for... He froze when he saw me. Eleanor? Didn't expect you here. Clearly not, I said coolly. Gavin just made vice president, Mom announced proudly. Junior vice president, I corrected. His bank handled some of my smaller accounts. I knew his title down to the letter. Well, it's still more impressive than whatever you're doing, Vanessa said. Assistant manager at a chain restaurant, is it? I thought of the boardroom I had left that morning. The acquisition talks for Gavin's very bank. The paperwork still sitting on my desk. Something like that, I said. This is ridiculous, Mom snapped. Eleanor, go. You're making a scene. I'll tell your father you couldn't make it. Couldn't afford it? Vanessa chimed, laughing. I stared through the glass at the marble lobby I had designed, at the chandeliers I had purchased, at the staff I had trained. For a moment, I considered walking away. Let them cling to their illusions. But my mentor's voice echoed in my head. Success means nothing if you can't stand up for yourself. My jaw tightened, my spine straightened. Actually, I said, I think I'll stay. Before they could respond, the heavy doors swung open and Owen, my head of security, stepped out. He had been with me since my very first hotel purchase. Is everything all right here, Madam CEO? His voice carried across the entrance. Your table is ready, and Chef Michelle held the menu for your approval. The silence was deafening. Vanessa's mouth dropped open. My mother's hand clenched the brass handle like a lifeline. Owen, I said warmly. Perfect timing. My family was just explaining how I couldn't afford to dine here. He frowned. But you own the entire hotel chain? Yes. I turned to my stunned family. Shall we? Gavin sputtered. This has to be a joke. You're just a restaurant manager. Actually, Owen corrected him. Miss Eleanor is the founder and CEO of Azure Hospitality Group. She owns every Grand Azure hotel worldwide, as well as several resorts and restaurants. Vanessa's clutch slipped from her hand, clattering on the marble. That's impossible. The Grand Azure is worth billions, which makes your comments about my finances rather funny, I said lightly. I stepped past them into my own hotel. Staff straightened immediately. Good evening, Miss Eleanor, the front desk manager greeted warmly. The executive suite is ready for your father's celebration. Thank you, Rachel. I turned back. Coming? They followed, pale and silent. Every staff member greeted me by name, showing the respect my family never had. But your dress, Mom stammered. Paris couture, I said, unlike Vanessa's knockoff. The real Valentino collection hasn't been released yet. I attended the private showing last month. The elevator doors opened directly into the VIP lounge. Conversation died instantly. Eleanor? My father, Robert Thompson, rose from the head table. What are you doing here? Your mother said you couldn't afford it? I finished for him. Happy birthday, Dad. I hope you don't mind me crashing the party. In my own hotel. Your hotel? Mr. Harrison stepped forward eagerly. Miss Thompson, we've been trying to reach you for months about that loan application. Thomas Anderson chimed in, eyes wide. Robert, your daughter is the mysterious CEO everyone's been talking about. My father collapsed back into his chair, pale. All this time, when we thought you were just a glorified waitress? I raised an eyebrow. Those were your words, I believe. But why didn't you tell us? My mother demanded. Would you have believed me? I asked softly. You never did. Why would I share my success with people who only measure worth by money? I glanced around. Though by that metric, I suppose I'm worth more than everyone in this room combined. Vanessa sank into a chair, ashen, the villa in France, the one I tried to rent. Mine, I confirmed. Just like the building your firm needs. Just like the membership you begged for, Mother. Eleanor, my father began. Save it, I said. I didn't reveal this to hurt you, though you've hurt me enough. I revealed it because I'm tired of hiding. Please, everyone, enjoy the party. It's on the house. My house. I handed the envelope to my father. Inside is the deed to a villa in Tuscany. Consider it a birthday gift from your failure of a daughter. The room buzzed with whispers. The powerful families suddenly wanted my time. The Blackwoods begged for membership. Harrison pressed about his bank. My family sat frozen, their illusions shattered. Later, I found my father alone on the terrace. "How many of those buildings do you own?" he asked quietly. "Enough," I said. He nodded slowly. "I was wrong about you. So terribly wrong." "Yes," I agreed. "You were. Can you forgive us?" "Forgiveness isn't the issue, Dad. Respect is. And you never respected me until now." I left him there, returning to my private office above the hotel. Below, the party went on. But something fundamental had shifted. Vanessa was no longer the golden child. My mother would rewrite history. Gavin would face unemployment when my company finalized the bank acquisition. But none of that mattered. Tonight, I had finally taken my rightful seat at the table, a table I had built, in a hotel I owned, under a roof I paid for. And that, more than their late approval, was worth everything.